It wasn't unusual. He always seemed to know exactly where she was and who she was with, like a man in love, or an older brother. But today had been different, and had been what made her decide now was the time. She'd been waiting for the perfect opportunity to convince Mac they belonged together. The way his eyes had barely left her all day meant tonight was that chance. Her brother's bride, Danica, had chosen gorgeous dresses for her bridesmaids. The color, a silvery blue, looked good on all of them, and the silky material and straight cut was understated but sexy. The backs dipped low, the front came to a V between the breasts, and the straight skirt gently caressed the curves of hips, butts, and thighs before dropping to the floor. The material moved with a shimmering elegance, and Sarah loved it. She thought perhaps Mac felt the same. The other women's husbands had verbally and tactilely admired the dresses on their wives. As Ben, her brother-in-law, had slid his hands over the silk and said something in her sister's ear that made her blush, Sarah had snuck a look at Mac. He'd been staring squarely at her. She'd felt her body flush with heat and had forced herself to stay put and not offered to let him feel the material. He was watching her now, too. Time to put her plan in motion. She leaned in and hugged Gary, careful to keep space between their bodies. Over his shoulder, she mouthed to Mac, "Help me." She pulled back and looked at Gary, turning them both so her back was to Mac. "Gary, you're a nice guy." "Thanks." He moved a little closer, obviously encouraged by her spontaneous hug. "And I'm sorry." He hesitated and frowned. "What for?" "You'll see." A moment later, she felt a big, warm body right behind her. Mac's heavy hand settled on the nape of her neck. "Dance with me." His deep voice made goosebumps trip up and down her arms. As usual. She loved that. "See you later, Sarah," Gary said, turning away without pause. She smiled, knowing exactly the glare Mac was giving him. She turned to the big man behind her and intentionally stepped close. "Thanks, Mac." "You okay?" That was the way she'd known it would be. He wouldn't hesitate to come with nothing more than "help me" from her. He would do anything for her. At least, he always had. There was one big thing she wanted from him that she wasn't so sure he'd do without question. "Now I am," she answered truthfully. "Do I need to hit anybody?" he asked. She smiled. She knew he was being sarcastic. Yet if she said yes, he'd do it. "No, I'm great." He still had his hand cupping her neck, and she felt his thumb stroke up and down the side of her throat. She looked up into his eyes. His attention dropped to her mouth before his hand fell away. "Damn it. I don't want to dance," she said. "No? Cake?" He glanced in the direction of Sam and Danica's 5-tiered white wedding cake with blue and silver accents. "No. Something else, though. From you." "You're old enough to buy your own drinks, Princess." Sam's friends had called her Princess for as long as she could remember. Was she spoiled? Yes. Was she overprotected? Definitely. Did she always get her way? Pretty much. Was it her fault? Not really. "Yeah, I am. 24, as a matter of fact." "I remember." He'd been at every birthday party she'd had since she turned 16. "Something else." "Ride home I can do, too. I'm ready to go." "We can't leave before Sam and Danny," she protested. He sighed, very put upon. Sarah thought about the ride home offer. The thing about it was Mac had given her more rides home than her own brother had. No one would think anything of it, least of all Mac himself. At least up until right now. "I need you to kiss me." Several heartbeats passed before he said,